Hello and welcome to this QAA podcast. I'm Si Bullock, a Quality and Standards Specialist at the QAA. Today we'll be speaking to Ian Pepper, who's the Curriculum, Qualifications and Apprenticeship Senior Advisor and Head of Centre here at Harperley Hall in the northeast of England. Hi Ian, how are you?
Good morning. Yes, absolutely great. Thank you. It's great you can join us here at Harperley Hall as part of the College of Policing.
Thanks. Ian's been chairing an advisory group which has produced our latest new subject benchmark statement for policing. Benchmark statements, for those new to the area, set out the basics for what a course in a particular subject area needs to cover in terms of teaching, learning and assessment, and also sets out the core performance standards that graduates in these subjects need to reach in order to achieve the award. Ian, can you tell us a little bit about Harperley Hall and what goes on here?
Harperley Hall is part of the College of Policing estate. We have a number of sites around the country and are the professional body for the police service. Harperley Hall is a fantastic location and is 75 years this year has been part of police education and training. The hall itself was built in the 18th century, and today we run a number of different programs here on site as part of our provision for the wider police service.
Great, thanks. Can you tell us why the sector and the College of Policing in particular were keen to set up a QAA subject benchmark statement for policing?
We have a number of partnerships through the College of Policing with higher education. The initial entry routes to the police service, at the moment, there's several routes of entry to being a police officer or a uniformed police constable. These routes are the police constable degree apprenticeship. These are the degree holder entry programme and a professional policing degree. These degree programmes vary in terms of whether a person's employed or not at the time of studying. And police forces work with higher education providers across England and Wales, delivering these programmes. And these programmes are licensed by the College of Policing. The benchmarking statement will be a fantastic addition to help standardisation of these programmes by providing exactly that, a benchmark against which the programmes can be stamped and explored and developed, ensuring they meet the benchmarking requirements. Of course, there are providers outside or away from England and Wales that will benefit from that benchmarking statement. And those providers being in Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Great, thank you. We've just had a launch event for the statement, but I was interested in seeing or interested in getting your view on how you here and the group see the role of the benchmark statement and the role that it plays in police training going forward.
So the benchmarking statement provides that standardisation. That standardisation for higher education institutions to benchmark their degree programmes against at level 6, which is a fantastic addition and certainly will help not only the standardisation but that wider acknowledgement of the profession of the police service.
So some colleagues this morning were talking about how important the statement could be in giving policing an individual identity away from similar or perhaps related subjects like criminology. Do you see that as being a need in the current higher education?
Absolutely, yes. Policing as a discipline draws from many other academic disciplines, whether it be, just for examples, it could be law, criminology, business. So in order to draw that discipline and evolve a discipline of policing within academia, it's really useful to have a separate policing benchmarking statement that meets the needs of not only the higher education provider that's delivering the programme, but also, of course, informs those learners that are going on the programme as to what's expected of them as graduates. And as I said, the graduate level skills of somebody that's going to work as a police constable are many and varied.
That's great, thank you. We were talking about promotion as well this morning and how we can help spread the word about the new subject benchmark statement in policing. What sort of tips do you have there on how we might go about doing that?
Certainly, the College of Policing, with its partnerships with Higher Education, has something called the Higher Education Forum for Policing. That HE Forum it has members from every university that's involved with the delivery of policing programs, or at least everybody has the opportunity to join that forum. And we're going to disseminate through that the benchmarking statement, which is fantastic. We're also going to promote the benchmarking statement wider across the service, so that the service itself, police service itself, knows about the statement and not just higher education in its own right.
That's great, thank you. And just to wrap things up, as we've said, this is a wholly new subject benchmark statement. It's not like the others that we're currently reviewing, which have been established for some time. But as we look to develop even more benchmark statements, are there any tips for any other advisory groups or indeed any groups that are reviewing existing statements that you'd like to share in terms of what went well, what we could improve, and what they might need to know at the outset?
Yes, certainly. We were, because of the conditions in the United Kingdom at the time, we were forced down the route of just meeting online, which has huge benefits, absolutely huge benefits in terms of travel and setting timelines that are achievable. However, there's huge benefits as well in terms of at least once meeting the advisory group face to face and getting to know those individuals. We all have areas of expertise and areas that we can feed into the benchmarking statement development. And by meeting people online, meeting people face to face has enabled exactly that, the development of those individuals to meet the needs of the statement. So sharing them online has worked hugely. Working through the benchmarking statement has been a fantastic experience and something certainly that I would recommend people become involved with. But also those timelines are a bit challenging at times in terms of workloads for whether they're academics or, in our case, practitioners as well in the advisory group.
Great, thank you. I think that's all really sensible advice. So that's the end of today's podcast. Just up to me now to thank Ian for joining us.
Thank you.
And also thank you for the work that you've done on the statement and also the work of the group.